Hey, you're watching the JV Disney Show, where I talk about all things Disney, including updates, rumors, and so much more. If you're as passionate about Disney as I am, this is definitely the show for you. Hi everyone, I'm Justin Vlogging, and if you've been here before, thanks for tuning in, and if you're new, welcome. Now, as you heard by my intro, I'm going to be talking about all things Disney. It's always been a passion of mine. Now, today I have my very first guest, Taylorrr.
Hi everyone.
She's my sister, and she loves Disney just like me. Anyways, so I just want to make this clear. Some things I talk about will be rumors. They're not all facts, but I will tell you if it's a rumor. Otherwise, you can bet I'm telling you true information. Now, without further ado, let's get going. Today we'll be talking about the renovations coming to Epcot in the future, and how we feel about them. Let's get going. We're going to be talking about the new lands coming there. World Nature, World Discovery, and World Celebration. And the one that's already there, the World Showcase. Okay, Taylor, you want to start off? The first topic we're going to talk about is World Celebration.
So they've already moved Leave a Legacy out from in front of the Epcot ball outside of the park, which I think is fantastic because I couldn't stand weaving through all of those statues while walking into the park. The next renovation they're going to be doing is Spaceship Earth, which I am not that happy about because it's been there for so long. Justin, how do you feel about them fixing Spaceship Earth and redoing it?
Yeah, no, I don't like it. That's like one of my favorite rides there. I know other people, that's not really their favorite ride. Others didn't even know that it was a ride for the longest time. I don't know why. But, yeah, I'm not very happy about that. I feel like Spaceship Earth shouldn't change. It's kind of one of those rides that don't really need to change, kind of like Carousel of Progress or stuff like that, like, should never go away or get reinvented or whatever, so.
I read that everything up to the little boy selling the newspaper doing extra, read all about it. Everything before that's going to stay. So burning Rome, the Egyptians, all of that's going to stay. But afterwards, it's going to be a new person telling the story, a new style through all the rest of the park. Even where the carts turn and face the earth, it's supposed to be all completely new. Which, I mean, I guess I kind of understand, but at the same time, I grew up riding that ride and would always sit in the seat with my grandfather, and he would tell me all the history because he's a big history buff, and so it just reminds me of being a kid, so I'm not too happy about it. They also mentioned when you get off the ride, where the games are and everything, I can't remember what the name of it's called right now.
I don't know. I never even went in there.
Yeah, we
walked
through it and left, that they were going to be redoing all of that too, so I guess we'll just have to wait and see what it looks like. Because it's going to be closed for 2 whole years,
yeah, that's,
pretty
I don't
much,
know how
which
we're
is
gonna go through
insane.
That,
no, me either.
Yeah, I don't think obviously they can't really change history or anything, so I would imagine that it would stay relatively the same before that part, I guess, so yeah. Another thing they're changing at World Celebration is where the fountain was in front of Spaceship Earth, so yeah, we're just going to talk a little bit about that.
With that, I haven't found a ton of what they're doing. I think they're going to be calling it Dreamer's Point. And they're going to be adding a statue of Walt and a new fountain. But as much as I've seen is that there's going to be some type of enchanted forest and a storytelling fountain, which must be what's going on with the new fountain they're adding in. Which, I mean, great. The fountain that they had I thought was pretty cool. The water shot extremely high and people always stood around and watched it. But they feel, I guess, that they need to update this and they can go right ahead. But
well, at Universal Studios, they have a fountain there that literally talks to you and, like, tells you stuff. I don't know if you knew that. But it's like, and right in front of Harry Potter Land, they have a fountain that talks to you and, like, it can shoot water out at you and stuff like that. So I wonder if they're trying to go for something like that. I think that would be kind of cool, but also, I don't know if they're trying to steal their idea or whatever.
I think if they're going to have a fountain and stuff that talks, in like a forest, they did like a Mother Willow type of a thing from Pocahontas where she talked to you and like her willow branches may move.
That'd be awesome.
That would be pretty cool,
yeah,
but
like
who knows? I guess we'll have to wait and see on that one.
Alright, the next one we're going to talk about is World Nature, which is a new land coming to Epcot as well. They're trying to stick with the World Showcase theme, how they have, like, it's already called World Showcase, and they're changing all of the names to all of the different lands and stuff, so it's not like Future World, stuff like that. So this is World Nature, and they're having a Moana ride, and
it's going to be called Moana, the Journey of Water. It's supposed to be moving/living water, where it's very interactive for kids. I'm not too thrilled. I mean, it may be cool, but I didn't go to Disney to play with water, so I came to ride rides, so I may walk through it one time, but it may be more of a play area for kids. I know they do have that one little splash pad at Epcot where the kids can run through the water, so maybe something like that for kids to somewhat get wet, not completely, but have something to do. So I mean, it'll be cool to see. I know Moana was a big part for Disney, and everybody really enjoyed that movie, so that could just be why they decided to incorporate that in their world of nature.
Well, in the Moana movie, I don't know if you've seen it like one time, but they have a part where like the water's like it turns into stuff and like literally like high fives her. Yeah. And it's your grandma. Her grandma's like a manatee or something. So I don't know. I'm interested on how they're gonna do that. I know you said you're not that excited for it, but like I want to see that. I think that'll be cool. They also have these like jumping fountains. I've never seen this. I think it's by Journey into Imagination with Figment. But they have these like jumping fountains that like go from like one barrel to another one, and like I haven't seen that before. It's kind of
like in Splash Mountain where the water jumps across as you're going through the ride.
Yeah.
I mean, in that case, I mean, it's probably is going to be cool to see, but I still feel like that's going to be a one and done type of thing for people that go to Disney quite often. It's not something I'm going to go see every time. It'll be, you know, once every few years I may walk over there and see if anything's changed. Another thing they're adding is where the Circle of Life video movie show was in the Living with the Land Pavilion. They're now getting a new show called The Awesome Planet. It's not even a show, it's a video to watch about diversity and beauty on Earth, which if I wanted to watch Planet Earth, I would do it at home. So, I mean, I never watched Circle of Life. I go in there to ride Soarin' and Living with the Land and to eat some fantastic food, and I leave. So, I mean, I'm not a big person to sit down and just watch the videos that Epcot has. In China they've got their one video there. Canada has their like Circle Vision.
People said those are kind of boring.
And you have to stand up the whole time.
Yeah, is this gonna be standing up or sitting?
I don't know. Yeah. I think Circle of Life you could sit down maybe. But I'm not gonna stand up and watch a video. If I'm gonna stand up for a 20 to 30 minute video, I'm gonna be standing in line for a ride, not standing in line to watch a video. True. So it's not really something I'm interested in. I have done the Canada one. And it's so pretty, and if they had seats I would sit down because that's such a cool thing to watch. Canada's absolutely beautiful, but I don't want to stand. I really don't want to stand. And then when you sit on the floor, you don't get the same feeling as if you were in a chair. And if you try to sit on the floor, unless you're against the wall, you don't get to see everything around you, and if you're sitting between the bars that they have in there for you to kind of lean against, the bars are up. If you're sitting down, the bars are above you, and you can't see everything to begin with. So
Circle Vision, I don't know if y'all know what that is there's literally, it sounds like what it is. There's a screen around the entire room that makes you feel like you're actually like in the location or whatever, since it's circling all around you, and you can literally look everywhere. So I think that's a really cool effect that they added to this. So you said this is going to be a Circle Vision one, or you don't know?
I don't know. I don't think they've said yet.
That's interesting.
But I don't think that it's a big enough space for them to do Circle Vision. I think it's just going to be on a screen. Honestly, I know they've got that room empty now since the Circle of Life, and I would almost give like Soarin' its own kind of merch place, or Living with the Land its own little merch store there, instead of having it as a video to watch, because the Soarin' merch is kind of out in the middle between the bathrooms and the rides, and I feel like I can never stop and look because that area is so busy because Soarin' is always so busy,
and there's bathrooms,
and those bathrooms too are always in those bathrooms. So I never can feel like I can stop and look because people are about to run me over. So I think if they took a Soarin' and Living with the Land and maybe sold some vegetable inspired stuff, I would buy a Living with the Land shirt of like a Minnie Mouse head made out of a watermelon shaped on the shirt. That would be so cute. Or lettuce. It looked like Minnie Mouse's head. I mean, whatever. A big old head of lettuce. I would buy that. But that's what I think would be something cool to do with that space for them. But clearly they want to add another video. So.
All right. So the next land that they're adding there is called World Discovery. And they're adding a Guardians of the Galaxy ride and a play pavilion where the Wonders of Life pavilion was. So we can talk a little bit about that.
I know everybody's excited about the Guardians of the Galaxy ride. I am. But I was a huge Ellen fan. Justin, you got a shirt that says Stupid Judy on it that I ordered for you. That was such a sit down and relax ride for 30 to 40 minutes where you could kind of take a nap if you wanted to. I mean, who does? But at the same time, you're tired at the park. So if you've gone for a few days. I love Ellen. I loved Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Yep.
I enjoyed the entire aspect of that ride. I know it was old, but it was a part of Epcot that I feel like they shouldn't have gotten rid of, but I guess it was time for an update. They're trying to do the update, so they're adding in the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, you can go on YouTube and search, like, Ellen's Universe of Energy, and on the last ride-through, I really wish we could have been there for that. But they open, since it's such a slow ride, and there's, like, not a little bunch of stuff going on, they literally open the doors, I don't know if you saw that, where, they could literally let people walk around the ride and, like, see the dinosaurs up close, and I was like, that'd be so awesome to walk around like that. And then if you're on Ellen, did you see her robot?
Oh, yeah,
they
she got her robot back, and I think she talked about it again the other day on her show. Because she's like, I wanted my robot back, and she got it back, and she's like, oh my goodness, this thing looked rough. Which, I mean, you're far away from it in the ride, and it was her, a long time ago with longer hair. But she's like, this thing looked rough, and it did. But it was pretty funny to see her get it back.
Yeah.
So the Guardians of the Galaxy ride that is replacing that is going to have the carts that you're in are going to be 360, so they're going to turn all the way around for you to be able to see everything. So and they said it's going to be a reverse launch too, which is the first for Disney. I think it's going to be great. I'm a roller coaster freak. Justin will not really ride a bunch of roller coasters, especially if there's any type of flips or big drops. I've gotten him on Space Mountain, and he'll do Expedition Everest now after we made him ride it this past summer. But I'm excited for it. I think it's going to be great. I go to Disney for the select few thrill rides, so I think it's going to be really great. The only thing that bothers me about that ride is the inside of it is so big. It's at the front of the park, and it's just a huge, for now, maybe they might paint it, white building that really takes away from you looking at Spaceship Earth and the big giant golf ball. That is the staple in the center of Epcot, and it's kind of just like, okay, there's the little Epcot ball now, and here's a huge white building that a ride is in.
They said that it could fit,
four Spaceship Earths in it, which is crazy. So, maybe they'll plant some trees or something to cover it up, or they'll paint it to look like trees. I don't know, but for now, I mean, it's not done yet. They still got a while, so we'll see what the outside of the building looks like by the end of it. But the fact that it just overpowers the Epcot ball is just not one of my favorite things about it. So, the next thing that we're going to talk about is the Play Pavilion. So apparently this is going to be a bunch of games and activities for the young kids, which Epcot to me is a very adult park. As a kid, I loved Magic Kingdom. I loved Hollywood Studios, or MGM, during my time.
We still call it that.
But Epcot has always been to me the adult park. I mean, adults go there, I feel like, more often, drink around the world, to eat, to have a good time. You can kind of stroll through that park. And I think they're trying to bring back an aspect for stuff for kids to do, because there's the ride, there's the Frozen ride,
Test Track, even that's still
even Test Track is a little big for the little ones, and then during the countries you've got Frozen ride, and they're adding the Ratatouille ride.
I'm excited about that.
So that's for kids, but other than that, more adults walk around, and there's not a ton there for little kids to do. So I think they're trying to bring that back. They shut down the character spot, and they're putting the Disney characters now in the Play Pavilion. So I think it's going to somewhat resemble the late 90s, like the World of Motion and the Wonders of Life type pavilion, which I think would be so cool. I mean, I was only 5 in the 90s. I was born in 95, so I didn't really get to experience all that, but the pictures, it looked so cool, and I'm hoping it's going to have kind of a feel like that of old Epcot come back. And then they said there's going to be a type of an Edna fashion show. I don't know if it's going to be a ride, if it's going to be like a 3D thing, where there's a water balloon fights and you're helping her dress people. I'm not a big Incredibles person, so
I love the Incredibles. I don't know why you're not. I really don't.
I can't get into those movies. So, so that'll be cute. That'll be fun. I know a lot of kids like the Incredible movies. So, another thing that they're bringing over to World Discovery is that 220 dining space restaurant, and I guess it's supposed to be over there near Mission Space. So that restaurant, I think, is going to be awesome. The drawing picture that they gave out about it looked awesome. The concept art looked awesome. It looks like you're in space, and it goes day and night views of Earth, and it's called the 220 dining. I didn't realize, because it's a video/photo from 220 miles away from Earth.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh,
So
wow.
that's why it's the $220
That's
dining.
crazy, man.
I
That'll look
think,
awesome.
Oh yeah, I
Like
think
you're
it's
in
gonna be great.
space.
I mean, that's a cool place to put it. To me, it could have been kind of put in 3 different places. That restaurant could have been cool next to Space Mountain. That restaurant could have been cool if you did a Star Wars type thing and it looked like you were in space.
Well, the Star Wars Hotel. Like if you saw that podcast, they're doing like in the rooms. If you go in the rooms and look out the windows, it looks like you're in space and there's like TIE fighters and stuff flying by. So
I'm not spending $1,000 a night to see that when I can go to a restaurant.
They said it's a cruise ship on land, so it's gonna probably cost just as much.
Yeah. So I think that restaurant's going to be really cool. I think it's supposed to open this year in December, so they should be getting close to getting done with it, I guess. I'm really excited for it. I love all the space. Mission Space. Justin, I think you've even rode Mission Space. And they've got, the one side that has the GForce and the one side that doesn't. I've done both. I like GForce, but at the same time, I always have this fear of something like happening to me in it. So it's not something I ride every time I go to Epcot.
I don't know if you saw this, but on that video you sent me the other day, but the Epcot, or not the video, the Disney one, trying to ride every ride at Disney in one day, or like Magic Kingdom, but the Epcot one, she said that on Mission Space, they literally ask you like 5 times, are you sure you want to ride this? Like, are you sure you want to ride this? You can get off now if you want. And I don't like that, and I think, a kid had a heart attack or something?
Yeah, a kid passed away on it. Yeah, he had a heart condition that I think 1 or 2 people have, that they didn't know about, and that GForce ended up killing them. I mean, and so, I've rode it, I think twice. Me and my father have rode it, but, I mean, it's cool. It really is. And I said, if you're claustrophobic, that ride is not for you. You are in such a tight space. But it's a cool aspect. It's a cool ride for the parks, but it's just not something I ride every time.
People that are astronauts have actually said that that's the closest thing they've gotten to actually flying into space. So I think that that's a little crazy. I don't think I'd want to do that, but I don't know. Who knows?
The side that doesn't have the G-force, I think anybody would be fine with, unless you are claustrophobic, because it still shuts you in a very small space. But other than that, I mean, you're just sitting there and the ride just kind of shakes you, no different than a simulator like Star Tours does. So if you don't like the G-force, then you can do that one.
Okay, now we're going to talk about some of the things that are actually closing at Epcot in this renovation. I don't know what to call this thing. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the electric umbrella.
So the electric umbrella is supposed to be closing November 23rd of this year. It's a quick service restaurant that has just what it says, umbrellas that light up. And I think there's only like 4 inside the restaurant. They're different colors hanging from the ceiling. Cool. But it's still cool. I've eaten there tons of times. It's one of the only quick service type restaurants, I feel, at the front of the park that people can really grab food and go. And it's not extremely expensive. I mean, people, if they go to Epcot, a lot of them go to the countries and they want to eat all the different. They want to eat at all the different countries. But if somebody doesn't want to have to spend that or get a reservation or whatever the reason may be, the electric umbrella has always been at the front of the park for you to stop at and get. And I've eaten there a few times. And their food's always been good. It's no different than like Cosmic Rays or some of the other just regular Disney restaurants that I would consider.
And we were eating there. I don't know how long ago it was. It was a couple of years ago.
Like 5 years.
Yeah.
So,
And we were outside, and Taylor was. Where were you eating?
About to eat a meatball sub.
Yeah. Didn't you drop it on your shirt too?
Yeah. After the
a bird came and like crapped on her.
Yeah. Flew over. I'm under like the awning, and that's like the mesh, and it crapped right on me, and as soon as I looked down and noticed that it did, the meatball fell out of my sandwich down the front of my shirt too. So yeah.
Did you already say when it was closing? I don't remember.
Yeah, November 23rd.
Okay.
Okay, so we're also going to talk about a few more closings towards the front of the park. Starbucks, Club Cool, the Character Spot, and Renovations. So Starbucks, I know a lot of people are crazy Starbucks people. I'm not a big coffee drinker.
Me neither.
Our mom is, though. She likes to get herself a cup of coffee every time I walk in the
me.
Disney park. So, I mean, I drink coffee, I'm not a big Starbucks person. So I know a lot of people are upset about that. I'm sure it'll be put in somewhere else in the park. They've got one at Magic Kingdom.
They have Joffrey's.
And they've got Joffrey's too, which, I mean, I know Starbucks has more of a variety of things. So I'm sure they'll end up putting it somewhere else. It's got to be in the park at some point, so I'm not too concerned about that. I know a lot of people were upset about Club Cool closing. I didn't know about that till probably like 5 years ago that was even over there for you to go get samples. I'm a big fan of World of Coke. I know Justin's a crazy Coca-Cola fan. His bedroom is done in Coca-Cola.
We're in my bedroom right now. There's Coke stuff all over the place.
So, you've went to Atlanta, Georgia before and went to the World of Coke Museum, or now at Disney Springs, they've got the World of Coke store. You can try all the different sodas from around the world that Coca-Cola's came out with. So, a lot of people are upset you can't go in there and get free samples. I read somewhere though, and I don't know if this is true, but that they were, that they were going to open up something pretty much similar to Club Cool, maybe a smaller version or its own thing again, where you can get drinks again for free and test them.
Was Club Cool sponsored by Coke?
Yeah, I believe so. I think there's the Coke symbol was underneath the sign. Yeah, it was all Coke products. So I've heard that they were possibly opening up another Club Cool thing, but may call it something else. They could just call it World of Coke and have a small one of those instead of calling it Club Cool inside of it. So, because you think about it, World Discovery, World Celebration, World Showcase, World Nature, World of Coke.
Oh my gosh, that'd be so
that would
funny,
be really cool if they did something like that. That would be smart. The character spot's been shut down. All this stuff closed down on September 9th, so I think we're just all going back over it. But character spot closed down. I went in character spot. Didn't we go last time?
Yeah.
My dad's ex-girlfriend. She's got a young child, and we went to character spot, which is the first time I had been in there since I was little and my brother was little.
I swear there used to be more characters. There was only like 3 in there, and I swear there used to be able to meet literally like Mickey, Minnie, Goofy, Pluto, all of them. But I feel like there was there? Mickey, Minnie, and Goofy? Is that it?
Yeah, I think there may have only been 3.
Yeah,
you may come at specific times. They may have more. I'm not 100% sure. Yeah. But when I go to Disney, I don't really go and see the characters anymore. If you have a little one with you, I understand that is so important for them to be able to see Mickey and Minnie and all the characters on their first time, get their autographs. As an adult now, I'm like, I've met them all. I've got their autographs 1,000 times. So pictures. So I don't need to. I know when I have a kid, that's going to be important. But for now, it's not really. But like I said, they're going to take that new play pavilion and put the characters in there, so at least they're not completely getting rid of the character spot. They're just not going to have one for a little while until that gets open. And then Renovations, which I think I only walked through once.
I don't even know what it is. Yeah, I don't even remember.
I think we walked through it once, and I was like, okay, great. It's a little bit of hands-on stuff for kids, I think, too. But it's just not something that I did and didn't even think about it. We just kind of walked past it and never thought twice to turn over and look at it. So that's been closed too. So
is it kind of bad that I kind of wish they would close the Journey into Imagination with Figment? I don't know if some of y'all are getting triggered or anything like that, but I don't. I think it's kind of a pointless ride. And they also have a whenever you exit the ride, they have a like little play area for kids, and they have a lot of play areas at Epcot. I just realized that. And they're also adding the other one now, the Wonders Fly Pavilion, the old one. So yeah, but
I'm gonna go ahead and ride us out. We had never rode Journey into Imagination with Figment until we went to Epcot this past March with our mom for her birthday. And Justin the whole time was like, oh my goodness, what is this? I thought it was the funniest thing. I keep joking with him that every time we go, we are 100% riding Figment. Like, I don't care. And it is so just like classic Epcot. And I think that's why I like it, is it just reminds me of the 90s.
Being serious?
No, I'm not being serious, but I mean, I would ride it again. It's funny because just watching you and mom on that ride and y'all are, I'm like, what in the world is this? And it's just so funny. But to have that ride be so old, Figment is such a big part of Epcot. They put him on so much stuff, and they just came out with some like retro Epcot gear I saw online the other day that's got him all over it. I mean, he is a big part of it, and I think the new show that just replaced Reflections, he's supposed to be the voice. Oh no, the one that's Celebration. What's the new show called coming?
I have no idea. The Epcot something. I had it written down somewhere. I don't know. The
new show coming after Epcot Forever. Is that what it's called?
That's what it's
Epcot
called, yeah.
Forever.
You just said it.
The new one coming after Epcot Forever. I think Figment is supposed to be like leading that and the voice of that whole thing. So if you don't like Figment, then you're not going to want to stay for the late show. But they absolutely love Figment in that park. He's all over everything.
I watched a video that was like, Figment literally is from that ride, and that's it. He's not from a TV show or anything.
Movie.
Yeah, no movie or anything.
They came up with him for that ride.
He's literally everywhere over the park. Like whenever the Flower and Garden Festival, they have like multiple like flower like statues of him and everything, and I'm just like.
And the art festival too. He's the
Yeah.
leader of the art festival because it's supposed to be just colors and sounds and everything and your senses. So I think it's so funny how crazy they are about Figment.
And Mom jumped on the ride as well.
Oh yeah, when the curtain dropped and he's down there screaming.
And they made a loud noise.
They made a loud noise and the air blew as she jumped so high. I'm like, are you really getting scared on this ride?
Yeah, it was funny. Okay, so that's all for this podcast. This episode has been about the new renovations coming to Epcot in the future. I hope you enjoyed this, and if you know a lot about Disney, just leave a comment down below and tell me you want to be in my podcast. And I will be posting every Sunday. And thank you, Taylor, for coming here and doing this with me.
You're welcome anytime. Hopefully you'll have me back.
I hope I do too. So anyways, thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll talk to y'all later. Just keep swimming!